Well, who says you can't grow anything when it's 100 degrees outside? Right now it's 99. It's supposed to get up to 102. And we're growing southern peas. So let me just take you down the rows, show you. These two rows are purple hull, Mississippi purple hull to be specific. And they're double rows. I showed you when I planted them. Double rows of peas with a drip tape right square in the middle of them. Now they have just recently, in the last week or so, they were up nice, about 2 to 3 feet tall, and just fell over. So that's what I've always seen them do. They just get they get a lot of growth on them, and they fall over. And but they're producing peas. They're fixing to start getting blooms. I need to spray probably with some Liquicop to kind of keep out some fungus and stuff. I sprayed with some Bug Buster the other day, and that's going to help keep the bugs out of them, I'm sure. Those over there are darker green, and those are zipper cream peas. Seem to be doing, I don't know, maybe it's just a different growth pattern, but they seem to be healthier. They're standing up a little taller and running a little more, got a lot more blooms on them. We'll go look at those in just a second. But they have really, really done well. I planted these in, I think it was the 20th of June. It was 100 degrees that day, going to be 100 degrees for 2 or 3 days. I was really concerned that they were going to germinate because I thought it might have been too hot for them to germinate, but it was not. They are going crazy, and we hadn't started getting peas yet. Like I say, we're just now starting to bloom a little bit. Just now starting to bloom, but it won't be long. Another week, we should have peas probably. Now you're going to ask, how often am I having to water these? Well, when I first planted them, I water them nearly every day. And now that they're up, I'm watering about twice a week, maybe, something like that. We've gotten a dab of rain, and on those days, and those weeks, if we got any rain at all, I didn't water. In fact, I found something the other day, and I'll turn the water on and show you what I'm talking about. And that's my little timer. And man, if you don't have one of those, I tell you what, you talk about saving yourself a lot of time, standing there with a hose watering something, or let it keep running because you forgot about it and you spend a lot of money. But I do have several places now that have leaks in them, so I kind of quit watering them for that reason. Let me tell you what happened the other day. There's a place over here somewhere that was leaking, shooting up in the air. And so I turned it off and came back and looked about 30 minutes later, and there was a rabbit laying right there in the aisle in the shade. The sun had shaded it quite a bit, laying there in the shade, in the wet, where all that water had come from the leak. And dadgum, I know he's wanted to put a hole in it just so he could have a nice cool place to go. A little misting system of his own. He must have got jealous of my misting system I have on my chickens. But I don't have any peas to show you yet, but I do have a lot of blooms. And again, I planted these about 5 or 6 feet apart. Really, most of them are about 6 feet apart. And you can see how they filled in the walkways. So don't plant your peas too dadgum close, because at 6 feet, especially if they start falling over, you've got an issue with walkways. And so we don't want to do that. So we're not getting peas per se yet, but I did want to show it to you. And they are running. Boy, these Mississippis, that's a 6-foot runner right there. That's a 6-foot runner. So those things do a lot of running, almost like a pole bean or something. And the hot weather, not only does it not seem to bother them, it seems that they flourish in the hot weather. And man, it's breezy today, about 15 miles an hour, 100 degrees. So it feels like a dang blow dryer. And anyway, I'll turn the water on, even though I got a leak up there. I'm gonna turn the water on, let it run. And I realize some of y'all might not can grow peas. You'd have to water them with water that you buy from the water company. I'm on a well, so I don't have that problem. but I do sympathize. Southern peas need so little water, they're very drought tolerant. They need so little water that, I don't know, I think you could get away with it. And I don't think it's too late to plant. These are, I think, 70-day peas. In other words, they produce in 70 days. So you've got time, if you're in the South, you've got time between here and the first frost. I don't even know, I can't even imagine a frost right now with all these 100-degree temperatures. But boy, that sounds nice though, doesn't it? Just contemplate on a frost for a minute. But you got plenty of time to grow you some peas, and just give them, give them enough water when you plant them that they'll germinate. They need water to germinate. Then after that, I think if you watered them once a week, I think they'd be all right. I fertilize these. I know you don't have fertilized peas, so don't get mad at me. Don't start writing stuff. But they were up, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches, maybe 12 inches, and just didn't seem like they were really doing anything. So I hit them with my fertilizer injector with some 20-20-20 in it. Man, it kicked them in the butt. So some of the fantastic growth you're seeing, I guess, is because of that. But 20-20-20 is not a long-term solution. It's not like a granular that you put it in and it lays there and it gets wet and it starts breaking down, and it may lay there for months. And give off its nutrients. 20-20-20 is pretty doggone quick. It's a quick shot in the arm for anything you've got. So I do recommend it. It's just not long term. But again, you don't need to fertilize peas very much. So I just did that because I felt like they needed just a little bit of help. Again, no peas yet, but we got lots of blooms, and going to be a whole lot more blooms coming. But the Zipper Cream, I told you these were Mississippi Purple Hull. The first 2 rows, actually 4 rows, first 2 double rows, and the rest of them, 4 rows, are Zipper Cream peas. Now all these peas came from Haas Tools. I'm sure they have Zipper Creams. I'm sure they have some more Purple Hull. And when we talk about southern peas, and some of you northern folks may not know what we're talking about. Well, that's what we're talking about. Black-eyed peas, Purple Hull, cream peas, Crowder peas. We're not talking about a sugar snap or an English pea, something like that. Those would just curl up and die right now in this heat. But southern peas love the heat. So get some in the ground if you haven't got some already, and I do believe that you can do some good growing peas in the hot Texas or southern summer that we got going on right now. I guess it's especially hot in Texas, I don't know. Put a little water to them, and I believe you can grow them. Give it a shot. It's worth a shot to do that, just so you'll have some this year, but it's also worth a shot to do it so you'll know next year that go ahead and plan on having some peas planted. Just thought you might want to see my peas. I'm very proud of them. I'll show you when we start picking them and give you an idea of the yield that we have off 6 double rows. So it'd be 12 actually, 12 rows, 6 double rows of 2 different types of peas. Plant you some if you got time, if you got space. Peas, southern peas, in the heat of a Texas summer. They'll do fine. All right, we're gone.